March here was something that's been done plenty, so I'm going to categorize it a little bit more than everyone else has done and give you a list of things that I wish I knew when I started playing. And hopefully they can give you a Grendel-sized leg up in your own gaming experience. If you like these kind of things, please help me out and hit the like and subscribe button below so you know when I post new videos and Warframe content. Okay, so these first couple things are quality of life sort of things, because Warframe really isn't the best at explaining some of the basic settings you can mess with and the general way things are done. So first on the list, join a clan. This has been said a million times, and every YouTuber who's ever made a video on this has said it, but there's a good reason for it. Clans in Warframe aren't the social experience they are in other MMOs. Sure, a few people will talk every day in clan chat and run stuff together, but in our clan, for example, there may be 10 people or so who consistently talk and chat out of nearly 300 members, and that's normal. The big reason for clans in this game is the clan hall, or as Warframe calls it, the dojo, and the access points within. A larger clan will have certain areas built, and in those areas you'll be able to do things such as straight up purchase blueprints for warframes and weapons for credits, modify your Railjack, and get a trading post with way less trade tax. And you can get materials for crafting, plus other stuff. Don't look at it as trying to find friends to play with or a team that's pushing into-game content. It's not World of Warcraft. Find a large clan that has everything researched. They won't even be mad at you for asking about that, because that's pretty much why everyone joins a clan in this game. Number 2, you can pause the game in solo mode. This is one of those I was today years old moments for me, but when I realized you could do this, it suddenly made sense how people did these like 10-hour long survival runs in the game. You can run solo and just pause the game to go eat, take your dog out, drop your kids off at the pool, literally or metaphorically, whatever you need to do. Number 3, you could turn off chat channels and turn on filters. This is kind of two things, but both are related to the chat. First, if you've spent 5 minutes in Warframe and gone to a relay, you've seen region chat blowing up with some of the weirdest crap you've ever seen in the game. I know I did. And just like every MMO I've played, I wanted to get out of that toxic wasteland that is general chat. Turns out you can. Go into your menus, click Options, Social, then down here, you have all sorts of options as far as what chats you do and don't want to see, if you want timestamps, profanity filters, etc. These filters are not, however, the kind I was talking about a second ago. I find these most useful on things like trade chat, to filter out the 1,001 posts per minute of people selling ribbons and things I don't want or need. Just open your chat window, left trigger on the Xbox or T on a keyboard, and click this little magnifying glass here. I think it's also the Y button on Xbox. And you could type in words or phrases, and the channel will then only show you posts made that include those things. I generally filter trade chat with want to buy or WTB and leave that sitting there so I only see people looking to buy things, and I can keep an eye out for things that I know I have for sale. Trade still moves fast, but at least I have a better chance of being about something I care about and being able to read it. Okay, the next couple are on the topic of your mindset and progression in the game. Number 4, treat your warframes as tools. Build them for tasks, especially early on. I tell every new player to get a stealth frame for spy and rescue, a tanky frame for bosses, that kind of thing. There's a large tendency for people to treat this game like any other MMO and try to main one frame. But this game really isn't structured like that. It's not WoW or ESO with party structures, that kind of thing. The frames here are tools. Each one has specialties, things they're good at, things they're a giant dumpster fire in. You can have several different frames built for the same kind of task to give you options, like Revenant and Rhino for bosses. But make sure you have at least one frame to cover each kind of task, such as farming, sneaking, bosses, etc. You can get through everything in this game with any frame you want, don't get me wrong. But early on especially, it's going to lead to a whole lot of unnecessary frustration. Number 5, mining and fishing are important. Unlike many MMOs where these get pushed off to the side as things like farming fish for food to regen health now and then, you actually need fish parts and mining materials for almost everything you can craft in this game, though fishing to a slightly lesser degree. The gems and fish can also be turned into factions on the planet you got them from for rep gains, often much more than you'd have gotten from doing bounties, but that's some details for a future video on how to rep up quicker. Number 6. Speaking of repping up, the rep grinds in here are real, but not anywhere near as bad as other MMOs like World of Warcraft or Elder Scrolls Online. All but 1 or 2 of the syndicates and factions in Warframe max out at level 5, and rather than having a specific couple of quests you're forced to do every day for minimal gain, you're instead given a daily cap affected by your master rank, and you have a lot of options as to what you want to do to hit that cap with each faction. You can get that daily cap per faction, except with your syndicates you access from your orbiter, as those are all lumped into one daily cap. This all, of course, means it's easier to rank up your factions and syndicates at a higher mastery rank level, but even if you're trying to push progress on it earlier, you can generally hit your daily cap no matter what it is in 15 to 20 minutes of gameplay per faction. Just do yourself a favor and don't be like many of us and forget about your syndicates and they've all been capped and ready to rank up for eons and you could have been passively gaining more rep for them. Number 7. Railjack. Apparently the majority of the community hates this game mode. Truth is, it really isn't as difficult or scary as the haters make it out to be. I actually really like piloting a ship, having a crew, doing space battles, and the freedoms you get while in these missions. Reminds me a lot of the ship combat in Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Go from ship to ship, jump out of your ship, go attack another ship. I'm sure saying ship a lot here. I feel like if you liked that system though, you'll enjoy Railjack, which is good because there are quite a few things locked inside of Railjack missions and you'll need to spend a hefty amount of time inside the Railjack to get them. Just don't get overwhelmed by the negativity from parts of the community. Make your own decision, and you may find you're out there hoping DE adds some more story or missions to it soon. Number 8. Do the Duviri lone story sooner rather than later. If you didn't start the game using the Duviri option that now exists, you should go do the main story, lone story, whatever you want to call it. Completing that gets you access to something called the Duviri circuit, which is a weekly rotation where you work towards a frame and augment for the week, and it makes getting some of the regular frames much easier than going out and trying to farm them from their standard drop targets, especially if you don't have those unlocked yet. The story in Duviri kind of comes out of nowhere if you're in the middle of a storyline in the main game, so I always tell people to treat it like a comic book, and Duviri all happens after that zoomed out panel that says, meanwhile, ... Okay, I think I've rambled enough here today, but hopefully you found some of this helpful, and if so, please remember to hit the like and subscribe below to keep you up to date when the next video goes live. See you all on the next one.